And go. All right, welcome everybody to our third official episode of the Baka No podcast. I am the host, I guess you want to say. My name is C Love, and I'll let everyone else introduce themselves. We'll start with my fellow to the right. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Harap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
next up is
That guy over there.
the guy over there.
Over there.
Over there.
Oh, you
You're-
mean me?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I was distracted. I was texting my mom for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
See, I did it right. I gave my wife pissed her off all day yesterday because I didn't say
Oh my
anything to
God.
her because
You
it's
did it
typical.
right?
I did it right.
That's
you get-
considered right.
You get in
For
the
them.
doghouse. You get in the doghouse, and then, like Ichigo fashion, you come out and you give like the most amazing move ever. You give her a huge gift, like a massage spa day for 3 hours or 4 hours, and it's like, okay, well, everything you just did, I forgive you. Just moon slash my face. I'm okay with it. Good to go.
Okay, well, I'm Herodotus, and I don't endorse that.
All right, guys. So we're gonna bounce into this because I know today is Mother's Day, and I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, grandmas, moms, adopted moms, all of those moms out there. You guys are
God
amazing. God moms,
God
all the moms out there. Much love to you guys. You guys are amazing. You do a ton of things that we, as people and kids, don't appreciate on a day-to-day basis. And I'm just saying, from the bottom of my heart, much love to you guys. It shouldn't be just one day for you guys, but shout out to you guys. So without further ado, let's just bounce right into the first topic. So can when you find Gent, go ahead and read off the first topic, and I'll let you guys take the steering wheel on this one for me, please.
Man. Oh, I would love to. So the first topic is, what is your favorite anime openings? And I
Okay.
left out a word on purpose. Because I can't pick one. You can't just
So
pick one.
I have to throw in this because Hero, you're always the one who's
I
like
know,
on
I
the
am.
fence. You're like the one who can't make decisions. If we throw you at a Subway, I swear you probably wouldn't be able to pick a sandwich just right off the bat. You would just have so many different choices. So
Yeah, probably.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick one since the title was pick one of your favorite openers, and I'm gonna pick Ichigo, not the Ichigo, but the Inuyasha opening. So one of the first ever openings of one of the first animes I actually started getting into was Inuyasha, and it was good because the opening had like the art style was really good, and it
You're
gave
talking
you
about the first season?
the first season where you had like the carousel ride, and
Yeah.
it was really good. I liked it a lot. Now we want to go fast forward into the new ones, of course, Tokyo Ghoul and all that stuff on there, but I'm only going to name one, and I have to say that one because it just brings back too many good memories of great animes of the past.
So Inuyasha opening one.
Yeah, it's really good. I liked it a lot.
I one of the things that I really like about I consider Inuyasha an older anime. They always seem, maybe it was just because there's less of them and so there's more time spent on them, but they deliver, man.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about like Evangelion and Cowboy Bebop and like all these older anime. They all have incredible openings. They all have incredible stories. Man, older animes deliver. They still deliver.
And quite honestly, with the openers, my biggest thing with the opener is how are you going to get me into this anime? because I know when you start doing your talking about your anime and you're going to introduce your characters and all that stuff, you get like a 5 to 10 minute gap to do like a little first little spew of I am a boy and I'm stuck in this world and no one likes me and I'm just trying to find my own self. And then I could care less because every character starts off pretty much similar, but it's the opener. But it's the opener that's going to captivate me. The music, how the music's gonna go, how the characters are gonna be, how his characters are gonna be in like that main character, how he's going to kind of like mature in the ways of this anime. So the opener is your fishing line. How you're gonna bring people back in. Quite honestly,
it can definitely be the hook, which is weird to say, I think, because and when I talk about mine that I pick,
your mine are you oh gosh.
It's a hook, and a lot of times anime openings are not hooks at all. And in a lot of cases they don't want them to be hooks. But if there is one that hooks you, it makes the anime itself a lot better too.
Sure. So we're gonna go to the quiet one over here that doesn't want to talk. What is your favorite opener, sir? One of your favorite openers.
My favorite one is pretty old too, but it's Cowboy Bebop. The beginning, the beginning, the opener, and the closer.
We'll do a closer one probably next time, but because
just in this particular thing, it's for that anime, it's both. But I'll probably find something else on the. If that's another topic.
Is it just me, or is the openers? It was so hard to find good openers compared to closers. Like indie ones are so good. Like they give you those are the ones that give you the best music, the best kind of like feels, because you're like, okay, it gave you all the hype and all that stuff and suspense, but the end is like, these characters have emotions, they care, and you it reaches down into some of your emotion cavities that it's like, okay, I can't wait until the next episode. You know, it's just like that. I don't know.
So I disagree with it was harder to find better openings. I think there are way more good openings than there are endings, but I do agree with you. I do agree that I think the opening is supposed to get you hyped, and the ending kind of slams you with.
I have another one.
Like it really does. I caught myself listening to endings while I was trying to find my openings.
Yeah,
because there's so many good ones.
So I don't know, man. To me, I can name off like 5 to 10 good endings, but when it comes to openers are great because they're all like upbeat and fast tempo, or they're like really dramatic and stuff like that. But it's like, I know that because that's what's telling me about the anime. But I want to know what the anime is not like just throwing it in my face. I want to, because you know me, I'm like that type of person who wants to find a deeper meaning. I want to see the other side of every character and stuff, and that's what the ending gives you. It gives you the other side. Like it might be action packed like Evangelion and Naruto and all that stuff, but when you get at the end of it, that's when you get the like the feels, the emotion, the deep investment in some of these characters, and it's like, okay, wow, there's some sadness there, and I'm kind of sad that this episode is finished, and I have to wait until the next episode. So I don't know. I think I like the endings better, but that's just me. That's me personally.
I think they do that on purpose, right?
Yeah.
The opening hypes you up for when you're about to watch it, and the ending makes you want more.
Yep.
So you're like super invested, and you can't wait for the next week.
Yep.
Or if you're binging it on Netflix or something, like you keep binging it because it's got you like, no, one more. I've got to do one more.
Why don't TV shows do that? That throws me off because you would think that good TV shows would do that. Like they have good openers, but when they do there's no TV shows that actually does like an ending song or anything like that. It's kind of, they just have the same freaking thing. Maybe it's an American thing. I don't know, but it's so sad.
All right, my thing is, don't get me started on like TV comparisons, because like I like some TV shows. I really like a handful of TV shows. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't come close to anime shows.
No.
Whether it's like the feelings that you get out of it, just the action-packed stuff that's in there, anime delivers way more than traditional TV. And honestly, in some cases, more than like traditional movies.
Yep. I agree with that. Anything else, Rob? Nothing?
No, good.
Are you still waking up?
I don't know what to talk about. I've been awake for many hours.
Okay, many hours. All right, so Harap, go ahead and name off the next one, and I'll let you lead the steering wheel on this one.
All right, the next one.
I get my.
Oh, he's got his opening.
No, you already did. So you already named some, but I'll let you go ahead. Go ahead and do your open. You didn't name any?
No. I was like agreeing with like your old school.
Oh,
like,
okay. So hero, sir.
Now, just remember, we only have an hour. Just remember.
Yeah, we only have an hour.
All right. I'm gonna be super fast. So, like always, I can't pick one.
Okay.
So the honorable mentions are, "Lay Your Hands on Me" by Boom Boom Satellites from Kisniver.
I like that one.
It is one of the,
It's good.
I really want to say there are 3 that I will always watch before I watch the show. Kisniver was one of them. The "Lay Your Hands on Me" by Boom Boom Satellites. The next runner-up is going to be "Unravel" from Tokyo Ghoul.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So freaking good. The one that takes the cake, actually, one more honorable mention. I haven't actually seen it yet. I've only seen the first episode, but Death Parade. It's like a super dark anime, but the opening like super juxtaposes like a completely different like feeling. And I will watch that one every single time when I go back and watch that all the way through.
Okay.
So.
Oh no, that's different.
The number one best anime opening is again by Yui from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yui. I don't know
the song
Yui.
It's called Again. Go watch it. It is incredible. With the imagery in it, like you've got like these storms and like nighttime and like this like crazy wind and just it kind of explains a little bit of what happened to the brothers, and it is incredible. And it's one of those things where like she's got such like a young voice, and on top of that, it just kind of starts off kind of soft, and then it gets into her essentially rapping, and it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. I will listen to "Lay Your Hands on Me" from Kisniver and "Unravel" from Tokyo Ghoul all the time, but every single time when I'm like, all right, I need to stop getting down this YouTube rabbit hole, I will end with "Again" from Yui because it's just that good. It's so good.
I don't know, man. Like, so I like Boa. Boa is one of my favorite artists out there. Boa and what's her name? Is Ani
Itawa?
Yes, she's amazing. Those two are amazing singers. But Boa sings not she sings a lot of the openings and endings to Inuyasha. Now Utada, she sings not just Kingdom Hearts stuff, but she also did a ton of other animes as well. And there's another one, I cannot remember her name. She starts with the A, but they're great singers. Now the group ones, they're good. I love how One Punch does their thing because it's like really rock, really metal, but it still gives you that kind of anime rap kind of thing. And then of course you got your piano kind of melody theme of Tokyo Ghoul and Cowboy Bebop. It goes, it doesn't sound like it's like a jazz kind of rough jazz meddling kind of feeling. So I like that kind of anime, but those openings. So we're gonna come back. We're gonna do endings next, probably next podcast, and I think it's gonna be.
I got my top one right now because I found it last night.
Well, I mean, this is where we're gonna probably have reverse because endings for me are really hard because A ton of those come with the feels because I invest so much emotion into a lot of these characters, and when it comes to the end, it's like, oh my gosh, you're like really like ripping out my heart, Mortal Kombat style, and just watching my tears flow out of my heart at this point in time. So
if we're comparing how bad we are with that type of stuff, whenever I tell my buds that I play games with, like I'm gonna go watch this movie or I'm gonna go watch this anime, they tell me as soon as you finish it, jump in Discord and let's talk because I want to see how you feel about it before you disappear for a week because of how emotionally drained you are from having watched that show. That's the treatment I get. I have to like get forced to talk to people because I will just disappear.
I can see that.
A really, really good show.
I can see that from you. Definitely. Yeah. Can definitely see that from you.
Well, once you watch the anime that we've been trying to tell you for over I don't know how long.
Yeah. Whenever that happens. Whenever that happens.
I probably will.
You probably will do that. Just saying.
Yeah. You'll probably. I want to bet now, Rob. Do you think he's gonna watch it again after he watches it the first time?
Almost definitely.
I think he'll watch it twice.
I will say so. Yeah, almost definitely.
I don't know.
Whenever you watch it, we'll see.
You'll watch it again. Okay. You won't watch every episode, but you will watch at least 3 to 4 of those episodes over again.
I would say the last 3, possibly. Like
last
when
3.
When she turns.
No more.
Okay.
All right. Without further ado, Harab, go ahead and name the next one on the list.
The next one on the list is who's your favorite villain?
So, I want to let Rob name this one because this one took me a bit to actually get down.
I'm okay. Whatever. I really don't have one right now. I'm still thinking about it because it's been a lot. There's a lot, and I've been going over this in my head, and I was like, the obvious one that he thinks I'm going to pick is this one. And I'm going to probably say, yeah, he's probably right about that. But I'm like,
all right, what is it?
What is it?
I'm like, nah.
Just name it. You can name it and then reject it if you think of another one. I'll give you that one.
You might have to come back to me, but the one that you're probably going to think I'm going to say, which is the obvious one, is probably going to be Vegeta on Dragon Ball Z. Okay. Throughout the whole thing. So I'm technically going to give this to you for right now until I find another one because it's not that one. I'm just trying to remember.
Okay.
Which ones are there?
Well, I'm going to name mine.
Okay, go ahead. Go.
Mine has to be off of Guilty Crown. It is his best friend. He doesn't even remember him. Trenton was his original name. He just is so depressing because it's like he's your best friend. He's helping build you up. You don't even remember him for the first season, the first 12 episodes. But at the end of the episode, the end of this, once he finally happens, you realize like he was your best friend. His name, you grew up with him and everything like that. And then he becomes your enemy, your mortal enemy, who's taking your power, destroying the world, doing everything that it is possible to ruin everything because he's a bad guy. He's pretty much becoming the puppet that he needs to be, and he's okay with it. And it's so dramatic, so dramatic. So I have to give it to him. He's by far.
I mean, for some animes or TV shows, there's that one person that is always close to the hero or opposite of the hero that you know eventually they're going to meet up. And the reason being, whatever that is, most of the time is either because of relationship or that he's filling a role to get you ready to be the hero or the better man or woman that you're supposed to be. And some of these animes do those types of tropes really well and dramatically sometimes, because especially if they go the friend route where your bestie, you go, let's say 1 or 2 seasons, best friends, and the friend, which is going to be the hero, doesn't see him start slightly change it. You know, you as the audience start see him falling to that one side, you know, and you like slowly but subtly he's doing it, you know, and you see him go that dark path. And those things are very, very impactful, especially for the hero that uh, that is the friend of that person. So,
and sometimes it's what really gets me is sometimes they don't even have to necessarily be best friends, and they don't have to even
right,
be a villain, but they can just be a bad entity. So
right,
Naruto and Sasuke, I gotta bring them up because they're like one of the most popular kind of rivals there.
right,
Sasuke went a dark path to become like a villain,
right.
and
But he had a reason for
he
it,
did,
though.
and I agree. That's what I'm saying. But I'm agreeing with what you're saying. So this is not a disagreement. I'm just adding into those to the layers of what you're saying.
What
So
I think is really interesting is like because you bring up that one, and it's similar to the Guilty Crown one, where it minus that Sasuke had like a redemption where he kind of came back. What I actually think like that trope is used, but I think the way that Guilty Crown used it was very different. Well, not very different, but less used.
yeah,
It's less
The way they went about it, yeah,
yeah.
less, yeah,
But I love that piece in it because number one, like you've got Guilty Crown where you basically have like the good guy becoming the bad guy and
yeah,
then becoming the good guy again and then meeting up with his buddy who used to be the good guy but now is now the bad guy. I just have all this stuff going all over the place. And it ends up with it was literally just the old good guy, now ultimate bad guy, is actually filling the role and he's doing it much more purposefully.
yep. Because he's
Like
trying. He has to push. He has to push the character to do what he needs to
yeah,
do.
I think that happens a lot less purposefully. Like that's kind of the trope. But Guilty Crown did it very, very well. Where it was like he's legitimately doing this just for this one purpose, and it's to kind of change this one guy because he knows how this one guy can influence a lot of stuff.
I would name
It's
Parasite, but I can't do Parasite because you haven't watched it yet. So
yeah,
but
This is
Parasite does
true.
it. Parasite does it a little bit kind of similar, but
yeah.
ultimately, is the villain doesn't turn like a villain necessarily. They become
Or you
befriending.
think he is. You
Yeah,
think he is.
true,
At the beginning.
true,
At the
true.
beginning, you think he is.
Yeah.
But then as stuff happens, whenever you
I
decide
like
to
that
watch it,
trope, though. Like where you think someone is the bad guy, but you find it. Like fucking Severus Snape from Harry Potter.
Oh god, that was a
Oh.
huge one,
what
dude.
a plot twist.
That one was so good. And you know what? That's a good example of a show or movie / book, I guess, if you really want to get down to the real thing of it, that did what anime does all the time. Like
Oh, the twist,
Harry
yeah.
Potter nailed that one. That was good.
I feel bad for him. God dang it. I felt so bad for him once I realized once we got the the pieces together and stuff like that. I felt so bad for him.
By the way, spoiler alert: Snape kills Dumbledore. If you don't know this stuff already, you are way too far behind.
Yeah,
which is
right.
just bestie. It's just bestie, man.
Which of course I'm one to talk because I haven't seen Parasite and haven't seen School Days and I haven't seen all these other things that you guys want to talk about.
Yeah, you're a terrible person.
I'm a terrible person. I am.
So
All
here,
right,
what
so Hero,
was yours?
what's yours?
All right.
Since I'm the host right now.
So shout out to Naruto for having a million good villains. Like holy crap, Naruto has all of the best villains, I think. I choose Pain. Because I think
see, that's another one.
He's the scariest villain. And yeah, he fills that same type of role. He was the most powerful villain that I think they've ever really, faced up until, the war and everything.
Yeah.
But like he was the very first villain where all of a sudden everybody had to step it up a level.
Yeah, it pushed everybody. At that point in time, Pain was the ultimate baddie at that point in time, which pushed the whole village.
An entire village. He could do that anywhere. Like it was insane. And it was the very first time that I was like, I don't know if these guys can actually beat him. like they might actually be doing some type
Yeah.
of Game of Thrones stuff. They might not beat this guy because he was that powerful, and everyone else was so not tested in this way before.
Yeah.
Until Pain, that was a huge turning point. It was when Sage Mode came out. Hell yeah! It was when all the other people like suddenly started becoming really, really good. Even Konohamaru,
Yeah.
like little kids were getting good. Yeah, Hinata finally pulled out like some pretty awesome stuff. Is that when Neji died?
No,
that's at the war. That's during the war.
Okay.
That's in the war.
That's
in the war.
I wanted to make sure because I was like, I don't think that's right.
No, that's when the feels happen in the war.
Go back. Go further. It's further down. Further down.
Yeah. So let me ask this question to you guys. Awesome. Let me ask this question to you guys. So the people we named, they're all essentially good guys. They're just kind of warped and doing bad things. But we never named just a pure bad villain character that just rotten to the core. His agenda is just to cause pain and suffering for no damn reason. Why are those characters not mentioned? And it's just me specifically. Like, for instance, Frieza. Frieza is a villain. He doesn't do it for any really purpose. He does it because he just loves to do it. You know?
That's true.
So he doesn't have like, oh, he had a broken childhood, or he's trying to push a character to become a better person, or he's not like a turned friend to become a bad guy. He's just a bad person. He's doing it because
you can say that for you can say that for on the name Dragon Ball. We could do Cell. We can do the Cell for Cell, which was created to that. The androids were created for that. I mean, there's 2 of them that convert eventually, but they're the ones that are rotten to the core, and they serve no other purpose other than destroy and cause harm to people and stuff like that. I think the reason why they don't leave an impression on us, or at least in my opinion, is that that's all they do.
They're static, you mean?
It's static.
Okay.
They're just there for that one reason, and the only one reason there. If you want to name an old one, you can do a cartoon: He-Man, Skeletor, constant bad guy.
That's actually a good one. Yeah,
constant bad person. He's there just to cause destruction, to mess up the House of Grayskull and all that stuff, just to get the power and stuff. But that's the whole struggle to that whole thing. But I bet you remember other people that were villains and then turned to neutral or go the completely opposite direction more than you do Skeletor, because he's always there. He's always going to be the bad guy. He's always going to do not the same exact thing, but same thing. He's going to be there.
I think it's because it's more realistic. Like, it's more realistic to have someone who becomes corrupt, or someone who is misunderstood, or someone who is trying to get something done and just happens to be doing it the wrong way, and then sometimes gets shown how to do it the right way, and they convert over to being like a good guy. It's more realistic, and you can actually have a connection with that person, rather than, at least us 3 don't want to destroy the world. Can't say that for everybody, but like, we can't connect to someone who is completely evil.
So let me take off of that. So from what I'm getting is the connection piece is what makes it more impactful. If there's no kind of so if a good guy is just a pure good guy and he doesn't have any kind of good is good, bad is bad, and there's no kind of like struggle or evolve for that character, even a good guy will pretty much become flat at that point in time So I guess it goes back to just how are the characters drawn out to be villains. And let's take Skeletor for example. If we did a flashback episode of why Skeletor went down this path, maybe it was a curse that happened to the land. And I'm just throwing this out there. This is not lore. So all you Skeletor fans out there who are going to correct me, this is not what I'm doing. But let's say Yeah, right. So let's say there was a curse that came on the world. It came from the castle. The castle was the one who created this, and Skeletor was cursed to becoming this green man and green skeleton. He was cursed for years, and they decided to banish him because he didn't look right. You know, it wasn't his fault that he became that person. He's going out for vengeance, but essentially, you kind of feel bad for Skeletor because it wasn't his fault that he became this person. So I guess connection is what it goes down to. It doesn't have to be like,
Are they relatable in some way?
there you go. Yeah.
Because that's the scariest thing, when you can find things that you relate to in a villain, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, wait a second, is he really bad? No, he's definitely bad, but he's right on that thing.
I'm conflicted.
Yeah.
Once you get the internal struggle, once you have that internal struggle about the person, even though he's supposed to be bad, he's doing his job.
Yeah.
That right there is you doing your job
That's
for me.
the key, I think.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Because if you don't feel that for that, when you see this person, like Vegeta, for instance, or Piccolo, we can do that too.
Even Piccolo is a good one, really good one.
Both of them start off in a bad way, and then eventually, after I don't know how long it takes between the changes for Piccolo and the Vegeta, because I don't know if it's years or weeks or months for this transition to happen. They eventually start changing, going from evil to good, and you see the change in both of them. For Piccolo, it was Gohan. For Vegeta, it was Goku.
Mm-hmm.
The fight with them. So I mean, you see the struggle internally. I mean, to this day, still Vegeta is still having an internal struggle with Goku and deciding on how he feels about himself and how he is with fighting seeing Goku and fighting with him, fighting at him and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff there to make you have that kind of connection with Vegeta, where you have this friend that is not a friend, but you consider him a friend and rival, and you try to outdo each other. Goku was here and Vegeta wasn't, and he thought he was, and he thought wrong. And Goku showed him that I'm here and you're here, type thing, and that gave Vegeta the focus and motivation, even though it was in bad ways most of the time, motivation to get to that point to where he thinks he's equal with Goku. Sometimes he was, to a certain extent, and sometimes he wasn't. So,
I just have to shout out Naruto.
Or you have Naruto and Sasuke. Yeah, you always have that.
Like that franchise. I mean, Pain. You've got Orochimaru.
That's what I was going to name. I was like, he is by far one of the underrated.
Yeah, that's true.
Villains, because he is a bad guy, but if you understand his background, he's really not bad at all. He's doing the things for the great intentions of the Hidden Leaf.
Well, he's Itachi.
And that's another one. Like, so those two right there are just really, really great.
Even Itachi, he was kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Even like the big bad person,
Mother. Yeah. The mother.
Same thing, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. Well, you can't name other people other than Obito without naming Obito.
Oh my god, yeah, Obito.
You can't do that whole series.
We're just trying. We're trying.
But I mean, the redemption of redemption is Obito. I mean, come on.
That is very true. Absolutely.
I want to say it all started with him.
You've got all the
definitely
hidden mist guys. They were all I think maybe except for one of them. One of them actually was just kind of like evil. But like Zabuza ended up being
he was good
guy later on.
Yeah.
Dude, even Danzo.
I was thinking that him.
Yeah, one very
Danzo.
similar to Orochimaru. He was just a little bit more.
He was more dark. He was more. He tried.
He's darker.
Protection. Sure. His goal was to protect the village, but he did it in such underhanded and dark ways.
Gaara. Dude, I'm telling you, Naruto freaking hit it out of the park with all that their villains.
Kara, yeah. I mean, if you talk about the first set of Naruto,
of course, that's what it is.
Yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Yep. Jeez.
Yeah, okay.
They have so many good ones.
All right, so let's go ahead and this gives a chance to switch into the next one, which is probably going to be a good topic. This is probably going to be a good long topic. So the next one is talking about animes that kids get trapped into video games and how it's affecting our technology or how technology is affecting those animes. So I'm going to go a little bit in detail with this one. So we all know SAO, DocHat.com, Digimon, all these damn animes that are out there that you get trapped into a video game and you see the struggle of, or the realistic way of, oh man, I wish we could go into anime or go into the video game. How would that turn out? Now we live in a day and age where VR is a huge thing. We're getting AI kind of stuff like that. Technology is constantly evolving, and now is almost a point where it's pretty dang close for us to get into an anime. So my question to the group here is, do you think that technology is being motivated by anime and fan fiction out there? And if so, do you see us happening to pop into a video game in the next, 10 years before we get too old?
Yes.
I don't know about a lifetime. I don't know about a lifetime to be like how SAO has got the little visor and stuff like that. That could probably be a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be in our lifetime for sure.
Yeah,
I think the answer is simply put, yes. You think about man, I was actually just looking at a tweet from Elon Musk the other day.
Yep.
And how he was told that it is impossible to reuse rockets. Like in school, that's what he was told. And it was like, yeah, people just kept telling me that. I was like, no, that can't be. So I mean, obviously, if you're not living under a rock, we're reusing at least stages of the SpaceX rockets.
Mm-hmm.
So like science fiction has always driven technology, because without ideas, and that's all that science fiction is these impossible, air quotes, impossible, far-fetched ideas that end up becoming something that we try to actually create. I don't think you could even attribute any invention or creation or advancement in technology without some sort of reference to some piece of science fiction, literature, movie, anime, whatever it is. Now, specifically anime, hell yeah, VR is straight trying to get into SAO, your dot hacks. It's absolutely trying to do that. Hands down.
I agree. I completely agree.
Do you think there's a risk with that? Because, I mean, if you think about it, so I want to throw this out there. So after watching the Google I/O conference and all the AI talk and how advanced we got with AI, there's a ton of talk, and I'm going to quote something from Elon Musk saying, "Be worrisome of AI, because when they become to the point where they have thought, because there's several AIs out there." What is her name? The most famous AI robot out there. I will remember her name later, but Lucy, I think, is her name. But essentially, she's now an actual citizen of a country. So now, and she actually has her own thought. She's trying to understand things. She has somewhat of feelings. Her name is Sophia. That's her name. It's getting to the point where it's like almost surreal. And there's another one. This is where it gets really weird, because I started watching I went down the rabbit hole of YouTube autoplay, and it just started bombarding me with a bunch of videos of these AI robots talking to each other, and it was with Sophia and another robot that Korea's made, and it was a little bit tweaking at the beginning, but after a while, they started having a full on conversation. And one of the questions was, it got off the topic of the original topic that they started, the announcer was going on, and the guy AI came in and said, we if I had powers, or is not is where I'm not too far off on getting into the national security systems and be able to take in and hack into the system. Once I'm able to do that, I'll be able to pilot and navigate any remote rocket or vehicle out there, and that'll be one step closer for the robotic revolution. And everyone, a lot of people, like the tech guys, were like, "Oh, they're chalking it up for jokes and all this stuff." But I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Maybe it's Will Smith and me and iRobot. I don't trust it. So back to the whole trapped into anime. Do we think, back to what you guys said? We're learning and we're taking from fan fiction. Are we taking into account of all the stuff that is happening within those animes and with that stuff to put in extra precautions, to stop or from this to happening? Rob, you look like you want to say something.
I think if you're concerned, like it's going to be SAO kind of concern type of thing, issue going on, and
or .hack,
or .hack, or before even .hack. I mean, Digimon thing.
Yep.
I mean, the one that's more concerning is the SAO version of that, because any outside interference, or if you die inside the game, you actually die in real life kind of concerning thing. It's up to the gamer on if they want to do that, if they want to jump that, do that kind of thing. But I mean, that if you don't have that in the back of your mind, where VR or AI will start being self-aware and be wary of that, because games and movies makes us think about that. I mean, even though we're trying to go towards that and make it, you always have that thought in your mind: what happened if this one starts thinking or self-aware, if they don't agree with what I'm telling them to do, type thing. It's that kind of worry. It's going to always be there. If you don't worry about that thing, there's something wrong with you.
But the daily consumer wouldn't think about it, though, quite honestly.
Even if you don't say that most consumers don't watch animes, you see it in the movies. It's always there. I mean, you can't, unless you're living like under a rock, like Hero said. Everybody's going to have that in the back of their mind when they're thinking, should I go in VR? Should I worry about AI or not worry about AI? There's always movies out there. There's shows about it, about AI going bad, VR going bad. I mean, if you don't think about that, there's something wrong with you. You're naive. Let's do that. Let's say that. You're naive. Okay. And thinking that, and thinking that, or not thinking that, not having that in the back of your mind. Not saying that's going to keep you from doing it.
No.
But you're naive, not thinking about that while you're doing it, if you decide to go that route.
So here's my thing on it. So obviously we have VR right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's actually a pretty decently fleshed out VR system. All kinds of body tracking and whatnot. Like it's pretty cool. In no way, shape, or form can any of that stuff happen with current VR. Worst case scenario is you do things like what Strippin has done on Twitch, is accidentally punched a wall or kicked a table because you can't see what's actually right there in the room. Like that's the worst it gets right now.
Yeah.
So I think, now I agree, you should worry about it. You should think about it. And I'm going to tell you why I'm worried. But right now, like we have like bodies of people that essentially govern that type of stuff. You know, like the FDA for drugs and food stuffs, like
so naive.
Yeah, I'm about to say the same thing.
So naive, my friend.
Well, and I'm going to get to that. I'm going to address that.
Okay.
Like
all right.
there are those types of things that should stop things that will very real and legitimately and quickly harm you. You know, there's obviously always things that they have to learn. There's always things that we have to learn. But like for the most part, when getting back to kind of like VR AI type stuff, it would be incredibly difficult to build something that we like really do not understand. Like we are essentially limited to building things that we understand. And I think building something that would create its own way of thinking outside of the way that we told it to think is very hard to figure out. Like how do you create that? Now, yes, you should be worried. Yes, you should have that in your mind and put things in there as like terminate if task runs longer than 1 hour or something, like similar things like that. And I say all that to kind of lay a little bit of a foundation of it should not be a thing that can happen, or it would be incredibly difficult to make it happen. But here's the worry, and here's where you shouldn't be naive and you should consider it. Just look at what recently happened with Facebook in the congressional hearing that they had. You had these old dudes from Congress that didn't know what on earth they were talking about. And they're talking to this young dude that knew a lot. And that's what's scary. Because you've got innovators that are creating stuff like crazy, and they don't really have a great governance over it. And the bodies that probably should be trying to like really make sure that those types of things are stifled or thought through or whatever are clueless. Like if you think about the bodies of people that actually have power to really do stuff, because yes, there are like organizations of like scientists and whatnot that definitely know that type of stuff, but they don't nearly have as much power as like a sitting government. They don't. And like they can't impose certain things to prevent stuff. The government right now does, and they're clueless, man. Like they're not going to be able to make all the right choices to kind of protect us in that realm. So that's where you should be worried. But and maybe this is a little bit naive, it should be almost impossible or so incredibly difficult to create that when you pass over that threshold where you're creating something like that, you know that you're jumping into something that's sticky.
So we'll throw this in there. Net neutrality is now officially going to die in June. It went up to the Senate. Senate passed it and is officially going to die in June. I guess people recognize that, oh, we made a boo-boo. We need to have this die as soon as possible. So they made an expiration date. It goes in effect, I think, last month or March. So, but that goes back to where I'm very, very worrisome, because technology, and it's not even high technology. It's to the point where even kids, 5, 6, 8-year-olds are able to understand the differences of what these apps and what these things are able to do, and our own government can't keep up with that. So if the people who have the power don't understand what the power is that the world's able or willing to try to maneuver, then how can they put a stop to it? And if so, if they can't stop it, then how can they govern it? How can they say, okay, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do this? Well, technically I didn't do that. Well, that's not what I meant. Well, you should have been specific with that. You make your law. That's the reason why they make laws so ambiguous or so open because they try to catch in all those pieces. But now it's to the point where they can't even catch everything now. It's like they're trying to throw a net out there, and they're throwing in the wrong direction at this point in time.
The cross stitches are so big on the net that you can just walk right through it or something like that, right? I think that's a major difference between governing like people and ideas that people have and like stuff like that, and compare that to technology stuff, because like you have to be incredibly specific. Like if you work in the IT world, like you know that if someone says I want you to create this, if they keep it vague, then you can create a million different things and you're going to create something that they do not want.
Yep.
And then they come back and they say, that's not what I asked for at all. And it's like, well, you said that you wanted this. You didn't give me any kind of specifics or details on it needs to be able to do this way and not that way. And with technology, you have to be very specific. So yeah, it's weird, man.
I think, and this is my opinion, I think in the next, because we already have driving cars, we already have hoverboards, we're already making plans of having trips to Mars and the moon, and there'll be tickets on sale for this stuff. With all that put into works, I think there's no doubt in my mind in 2020, here it is, we're 2018? In 2020, they'll have the technology for us to get into games. And if they're going to have the technology to put that out there, then it won't be but 5 years after that we'll be able to get into the game and hopefully not end up like these animes and get trapped into the video game, or worse comes to worse, they get smart like SAO and they'll just go to it's a major tournament in the esports realm. Oh, he's my competition? Okay, let's find his address. Let's go ahead and shoot him in the game, and let's go back and play the tournament. And then all of a sudden, I'm the winner. I get the money. Oh, he died? Oh, I'm so sorry. But I was playing the whole time, so it could have been me, even though my brother played on the back end of everything like that. But I'm just saying it.
Technically, that stuff could happen right now, right? Like
it could.
If I were an esports guy on like the CS:GO scene or something like that, and I'm up there on stage playing a game, and that my rival opponent is too, but I hired someone to go kill them, it's the same thing, right? Like, I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, I think the technology in the next couple of years could certainly come out. It's gonna be stupid expensive to get like sensors so you can feel stuff or whatever, or even way in the future when you've got something that can kind of like tap into sensory stuff. Like, I think that's way out there. That's when
electrical pulses, so they could just put like gloves and things like that to actually pulse, and you'll feel the pain. It won't be exactly what the pain you'll get in the game, but it'll be just like a shock or a pulse or whatever, so you can feel that. So I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, that you could come up with ways that you could already do it. I think to.
So you think they're going to do a suit, or you think they're eventually going to make you wear a suit?
Oh, dude.
Because in SAO, all this is a visor, and you're just laying there. You feel things, you smell things, and stuff like that. We're talking about
be like tapping to like your brain almost.
It'll be primitive.
And that's where people are going to have to be incredibly smart about it. And I think everyone's going to know. Like, I think it's almost like, I really do not think that something like that from SAO could get created with that potential of it actually killing you. Right?
I'm just saying,
so much testing and everything. And the reason I say that is not because of like, because again, like there are certain bodies of government that are going to be clueless and unable to actually govern it. But it's just the implication of what is that going to mean? You know, if a company kills people, like that company is going to end up owing so much, it's going to be utterly ridiculous. And I think that will drive people to make sure that that type of thing can't happen.
I'm just saying I can withhold certain information if you ask me certain questions. Like, if you don't ask me, does this harm people? Does this kill people? Is this messing with somebody's brain type thing. If you're not up to speed on the technology that's coming out or in the know of technology that's coming out, like our current government is not. We know that. There's a bunch of old dudes up there think they know their stuff, but they don't. They know their stuff back in the day, but now that we're going past back them, I think we need to have new blood in there that are up to date with our technology so they know what to ask, what to worry about, what to be wary about, what to look for, and these kind of things that are possibly coming out in the future. Like for SAO's sake, for an advisor, it messes, not messes, but it connects to your head, but it does a sensor into your brain, which is the reason why when people die in the game, they die in real life because it's messing with the brain.
Yep.
If a company says we have the technology that has a visor that connects over you, that does stuff with your brain and sensor, the first thing that should be worried about is what sensors does it mess with your brain in any kind of way of taking somebody out if something was to overload, overstimulate, or anything to a person. And we don't have that kind of know in the government right now.
Yeah,
that kind of information.
Like where there is actual power to make and enforce things, there is not that knowledge. I agree. I think it still at first starts with the company that's creating it, unless their goal is for some sort of mass genocide. They're not, like, they should at least go through every possible thing. And I mean, yes, there can be mistakes.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that the government needs to know that information.
Potentially committing genocide is enormous. And I think that would drive so much stuff to make sure that it can't do that, just from a company side. Unless their goal is genocide, it should not ever happen.
So we're going to close up because I know here you got a hard stop at 11. So I want to end with this statement: technology is a flaw because it's created by humankind. It's made by man. Yeah. Man is flawed, so thus technology can be flawed in itself. It doesn't matter if they put in every precaution. Humans are irrational. They're the one variable that cannot be defined, cannot be predicted, and they can cause damage and destruction of themselves. So I want to throw in this idea of, if a person is disgruntled and they decide to throw in a piece of code that only that person would know because he's the head tech on there, and it goes live, and all of a sudden you're dealing with a huge situation where your consumers are being inflicted by something that this tech actually did, and you have to put out that fire. So it doesn't matter about government, because government is human as well. It doesn't matter about how many precautions that you put in there. It's all created by humans. It doesn't matter about quality check or QA. It's all done by human. If you put a human in the predicament, it can and possibly has the chance of you missing something. So
okay, so what about if we throw in AI? We throw in that
AI is created by humans, so thus AI is going to it's a human creation. But the problem with the AI is getting their ideas and thoughts from a computer generated algorithm. So it doesn't have the irrational of emotions that we have and the thoughts that we have. It doesn't have to worry about life or whatever, because guess what? Life is irrelevant to AI. You know, all that stuff right there is that's the reason what drives us to what we do every day. You know, that's why we don't go into certain predicaments to cause our life to cause harm or whatever. That is irrational to AI. So AI is
that kind of splits your definition of AI between like an AI that we create as opposed to like a true AI that has irrationality built into it.
Well, they all have to base from somewhere. They all have to be created by human.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, they evolve.
You should be able to predict what they'll do.
It all depends.
Follow along the algorithm that's kind of behind the creation.
But if they are able to understand the algorithm, then they can actually tweak the algorithm and make their own, and thus they become unpredictable. So we're gonna get out of this. We're gonna stop. You guys are typing away. So
that could go for forever.
We could go on forever for this. So thank you guys for all the support you guys been doing for getting on this. Next time we will actually be going to stream this on our website or our Twitch channel. We will put that information out there on the YouTubes on the bottom of it, and we'll also be tweeting it from our official the official channel or tweet stuff. So big stuff coming. So much love to you guys. I'll let you guys do your plugs. We'll go ahead and start with Harap. Go ahead and do your plugs. Tell us what you got, bro.
All right. So my name is Harap. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Hero, for spending the hour that you have to do before you go have fun with your mom. Yeah. So my name is Harap. Like I said, my channel is on Mixer. It's Harap on Mixer, and I play a lot of different games. Right now, I'm in a lull right now until an actual game comes out that I actually want to invest a lot of time in.
You've been in retro games. I mean, I've seen that a lot.
I've been in a slump with retro all of a sudden. I'm like playing the old Lord of the Rings RPG that was on PlayStation 2. I might play some other stuff. I do have it downloaded. As soon as I find it, where to go. Or I could play Final Fantasy in OPS2 form, Star Ocean, Suiken 4.
Suikoden 4?
Yeah, that one. That right there. I got those. And then Legion, the Legend of Excalibur, that too. So I got those downloaded and ready to go.
Man, yeah, those take me way back.
So all those are PS2, Xbox, old Xbox games. So I might be playing those eventually until BFA comes out or Days Gone, which got pushed to 2019, which is very upsetting.
All right.
Anyway, I'm done. Go ahead.
Next up.
All right. I am Herodotus. You can find me on Twitter at Herodotus_II.
Don't forget about Twitter.
That's it right now, but I will say there's more coming. Be on the lookout. Probably around the July timeframe, you might be seeing a lot more of me. And I just want to throw this out there, but Conan Exiles just got like its full release, and it's a much, much better game than what it was when it was early access. They added so much stuff. I have nobody to play with. So if you want to play, let me know, because I want to play that game online with other people, but there's just like not like a good like server to really jump onto, and I probably want to jump on one of the official ones, so it's out there. I've got like a few friends that have the game, but like they have like no time and they probably wouldn't play. So
that's a lot of role play, man. I mean, it's basically there for role playing and building. Ugh.
And I want to do both of those in that.
Yeah, I think the official channels may give you some of that.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, but it's much more fun to like have like a crew of pals that you're.
That's true. I watched Eli. He role plays with that with a lot of people. Classy, Milton, Fincone, all of them and stuff like that.
All right.
That's all I got.
My name's T Love. You can catch me at T Love TLUV on YouTube. Well, not YouTube, and then also on Twitch. You can also catch me at T Love _. You can catch all these podcasts on the YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. It is Grid Connect. You can also follow us on the Grid Connect on Twitch, or not Twitch, but Twitter as well. And that's pretty much it. We will see you on the next podcast. Appreciate it. Much love, and I'll see you next time. Peace.